Welcome all you future educators, current educators, and lifelong learners to another video where we take technology, teaching strategies, and emerging trends to create engaging educational experiences. So you finally have done it. You took that training that showed you how to enhance your media skills for your classes. Or maybe you sat in on a conference where they told you personalizing your course by using videos makes it more engaging. One way or the other, you've decided you want to not only create videos online, but you want to put yourself in them and talk a little more to the audience, get them to know you a little bit better. Well, bravo, as putting yourself on camera is a big step. A fair warning, inevitably, you will feel uncomfortable and awkward the first few times you do it. Worry not though, as we have some tips to give you that will help you get over that hurdle quickly and make these selfie recordings a breeze. Let's start off with talking about, is it really necessary to have your face on camera? The research is mixed on it, but after creating some videos with my face on camera and some without, I can definitely say that there is a time and a purpose where they fulfill more than just a narcissistic need. Viewers do tend to relate to you and get to know you a little bit more when your face is on camera and you have the ability to get your personality out there a little bit more. Now, all of that assumes that you are following the good guidelines of video creation. For example, doing something like keeping your video shorter. It doesn't matter how gorgeous you are or how good you talk, audiences still don't really want to see you talking for 45 minutes straight, head or no head. For shorter videos, there are instances where you can selfie it and talk your way through a topic. There are also instances where you can just do a voiceover on some animations and graphics. What has universally become frowned upon is having the floating head box on top of your content. It becomes distracting if you say, have a PowerPoint slide up and you're talking about it, but your head is floating around somewhere too. Do we watch you or do we watch the slide? Who knows? If you want to present the content and a selfie at the same time, which I actually find preferable myself, use post-production editing to transition away from your headshot, then to the content, and then back to your headshot. Think of it like a documentary where you see someone talking, and as they're talking, they end up doing a cutscene. As they're wrapping up their talk, they eventually come back to the person talking and away from the cutscene. All of that is done post-production and it makes for a way better product. Okay, outside of that freebie tip, let me go ahead and give you 7 quick tips on how to improve your experience when you get going with recording yourself. The first few tips deal with setup. Tip 1, always use solid lighting and good microphones. Nothing is harder to correct in post-production than bad lighting and bad audio. Lighting items can usually be found pretty easy and pretty cheap in the audiovisual or electronic selection at your big box stores like a Walmart or a Target or something like that. Make sure that the background isn't too bright when you're recording and make sure your face is lit up. As for the audio, you get what you pay for, but having a basic decent quality boom mic sitting in front of you or a lavalier on your shirt is going to be worth the investment. Tip 2. Mark off the setup zone and the camera zone. So for the setup zone, mark things like where your camera and your tripod sit on the floor. This is as easy as just putting a little square of painter's tape on the floor where the legs of your tripod go. What it allows you to do is set up the camera on the exact same spot in case you need to shoot another video in the future and you want it to be in the same area. You don't have to take the extra time to realign everything. Now once you have it set up, look through the camera or at the preview on the recording software and determine exactly where the camera sees in its field of vision. Then you can use something like the painter's tape again to mark off those areas on your desk or on the floor. This way, when you're recording, you know exactly the area you can move in and that you can still be seen. Nothing sucks more than giving an awesome demonstration only to realize that you were too far to the left so the camera didn't even catch it. Tip 3. Only worry about cleaning the area that the camera can see. So many times people panic because their offices are messy or they've got too much junk around their studio or something like that. Even if this is the case, no viewer is going to know because the camera only records the area of the room that it sees. More so, if you marked up that area with the painter's tape, like we mentioned in tip 2, then you know exactly where to clean up and fancy up to make it look nice. Tip 4, test out your equipment. And I know we've all heard it time and time again, run a test. But you know what happens the first time you don't run a test. It turns out that it's the best 15 minutes you have ever recorded. I mean, you were on top of it. But none of it recorded because the mic was set up wrong or something like that. We've all been there, and it still doesn't make it feel any better when it happens. Run a 10-second test to make sure everything works, and it will save you an hour of work the one time you didn't have it set up right. Tip 5. This tip starts to move more towards the recording of the video. When preparing to record, don't use a script unless you have a teleprompter, and most of us don't have one of those. Rather, you're going to use bullets on these types of recording. If you have a script somewhere, you're going to try to read it, and it's not only going to just look awkward and weird, but inevitably you're going to take these pauses when you're trying to find where you're supposed to be at on the script. Now you may ask yourself, can't we clean that up in post-production and take those pauses out? Well, you can, but it's not easy, and it usually leaves these weird jumps in the video. It will just save you time and hassle to go in natural and read as little as possible. The way to do that is to have bullets. Now make sure your bullets are covering concepts as big as possible so you don't have to memorize 15 of them or something, but you can usually ad-lib the details of the concepts as long as you know that you hit those concepts. So keep the bullets short. Remember that they're just prompts that we want to walk through. They're not something that you're going to read verbatim. Tip 6. Look at the camera when talking. It is going to feel weird because you're going to feel like you're talking to an empty room, but you get used to it. Just remember to make eye contact with the camera because that is what's going to come across to the viewers as you looking at them. One thing I do to make this a little bit easier is I'll either set up my laptop directly under the camera, or sometimes I'll get a sheet of paper with my bullets on it and I'll tape it right on the tripod underneath the camera. This way, if I feel like I need to look at my notes, my whole head doesn't turn and shift and my attention doesn't look like it's gone away, but rather my eyes just do a quick dart down, and overall it still looks like my head and face are facing the camera, so the essence of eye contact is still there. Tip 7. Think of a generic posture that you can circle back around to. For lack of a better term, think of it as a pause position. What will happen inevitably, you'll end up needing to pause to collect your thoughts, or you'll cough, or you'll stumble on your words, or restart or something. It's really hard to get a perfect take, especially the first time you guys are getting used to doing these things. However, trying to cut out those during post-production is really difficult because you're moving, so syncing up your body positioning is near impossible. This leads to weird jumps in the presentation if we make a cut. A jump isn't necessarily a negative thing when doing it in post-production, but you want to do it between major thoughts or stories, and you want to bring your body position somewhat close where when you make that cut it's not such a drastic jump. So find a natural position in the way you sit and come back to it whenever you finish a main point or a story. That way if you mess up on the next one, you can start over at that new concept, and when you make the cut in post-production, it isn't a drastic jump. Also, remember that if you mess up when recording and you decide to restart on a thought, give yourself 2 or 3 seconds in your pause position and stay silent. Then start talking. That silent pause will make it easier to tell where the mess ups are in post-production, and it's going to make your cleaning it up a lot quicker. So those 7 tips should be able to get you started on recording the selfie or headshot style of video for your course or your training. Now, I'll give you one more bonus tip since I know you guys are excited and ready to hit that record button on your video. Bonus tip is to practice. Practice, practice, practice. These will feel awkward the first times you do them, but with experience they become more natural. I'll still go and look at some of my early ones that I did for my classes, and I shake my head in shame. I've learned so much since then, and I can make the video so much stronger. So just remember that you can always go back and redo them once your skills are stronger, but those skills will never get stronger if you don't practice them. So go out and prepare to feel a little bit foolish as you make those first few videos. It's going to be okay because soon you're going to be knocking them out like a champ. Now before you begin recording your videos, we're curious if you guys have any other tips on how to improve the process of recording yourself for a course or training video, or even blogs or hobbies or something like that in general. We know our skills have improved with experience, so we'd like to feed off of some of your experiences as well. If you have any additional tips, go ahead and let us know in the comments section below. Also, if you like content like this where we talk about enhancing your classes using technology and teaching strategies, be sure to hit that subscribe button, as we're always trying to get new content out there to help you guys make those educational experiences just a little bit better. In the meantime, good luck, keep building, and we look forward to seeing what you guys create.